Welcome to another great edition of Beacons of Light. Joining me is Jason Meyer, a case manager at the Bishop Hot Shelter Program for Men. Welcome to the show, Jason.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
You've been at St. Vincent de Paul for 7 years now.
7 years.
And those 7 years have been filled with experiences and for me, and I know you would agree, that it's a blessing to be there for those who are experiencing homelessness.
Definitely. I fully agree with you.
Yeah, and part of that is because as a faith-based group, your faith is important to you, and we're pursuing, a very important role in the community, and in many ways, every day we see the face of Christ in those we serve, don't we, Jason?
Yes, we do.
And you've had some special memories, and you've helped probably at this point thousands of men through the years. And one that I thought it's to me, after being at St. Vincent de Paul for 34 years, Mr. Richard Ray Newsom. Talk about Mr. Richard Ray Newsom.
Mr. Newsom came to us from England, far distance from here. He told me he got stuck out here after a hurricane, and he didn't have a way to get back home to his family.
Right.
So he ended up in different shelters, moving around from shelter to shelter. Mm-hmm. He came to us with nothing.
Right.
No ID, no vital records. So we worked with him in order to secure those records in a given amount of time. He secured those records, and we were able to he contacted his family members.
Yes.
Who tracked him down.
Right.
And found out that he was staying with us at
Right.
St. Vincent de Paul at Bishop Hot Center. Yeah. And we were able to set up
all the paperwork.
Exactly. All the paperwork in order to get him back to England, which was a success.
Yeah,
definitely. And actually, he's still in touch with me today via Facebook.
Yeah, what a great guy. And I had the blessing of meeting Mr. Richard Ray Newsom, and Mr. Newsom was a character. He's legally blind, so he had that. And you're right. I think what he mentioned to me when I had the opportunity to chat with him was he lost his passport, all his identification information, and
yes.
and was just kind of lost. And like you said, I think it was down more toward the New Orleans area,
yes.
and so he kind of got up here to Baton Rouge, and thank God he found St. Vincent de Paul.
A house fire literally took everything that he owned at
the
time.
Yeah.
And we were able to secure the passport and put him on a flight.
Yeah.
To get back to his family, definitely.
And I remember he told me the cousin that he linked up via Facebook, and somebody there on staff helped him do that Facebook page.
Exactly.
And they thought he was dead.
They really did. I spoke with her privately, and she literally thought that he was no longer part of the earth, but he was able to make that connection again, and it was a positive reunion, definitely.
No doubt. I can't imagine the trauma of being in a foreign nation, losing all your documentation, not being legally blind and not knowing where to go or how to get from step one to step A. And by the way, anybody in Louisiana, there's no United Kingdom embassy in Louisiana. And there's not actually an embassy anywhere close, but there's a consulate in Houston. And I understand y'all hooked him up via Zoom or something.
Yes.
And I heard that those representatives from the United Kingdom consulate, they were extremely helpful.
Extremely.
And by, one of the things we do a lot of, Jason, is whether it's reuniting someone with their family in the United Kingdom or right here in Baton Rouge, reunification in families, that's an important thing, isn't it?
Oh, yes, definitely.
And
definitely.
You've seen that a lot where maybe somebody becomes homeless, and y'all are able to maybe get them back where they can go and maybe live with their brother, their sister, maybe even their mother.
Yes, and that's part of being a case manager, attempting to reunite homeless individuals with their family members. Sometimes it's a difficult task. Sometimes it's easier than we thought. But that's one of the biggest things that we attempt to do, is to reunite them with family members that they have lost contact with.
And like with Mr. Newsom, what the final ultimate goal is to have them housed. And he's housed in Great
Yes.
Britain. I mean, it's not a shelter. He's got his own place.
His own place, definitely, and enjoying it to the fullest.
Yes, indeed, and staying in contact.
Exactly.
You know, it's. I think whether you're providing someone hope here in Baton Rouge or hope, you know, we don't have a lot of international stories, but certainly every success is priceless to us.
Exactly.
Yeah. A lot of times, like Mr. Richard Ray Newsom did, when a man comes to us and they're experiencing homelessness, they've kind of lost everything, huh?
They have. A lot of times the street homeless individuals, they carry with them daily everything that they have, everything that they own. And many times those documents, those personal items get lost, get stolen by other individuals who are experiencing street homelessness. So initially when they come to us, I find out, what are you missing? Or basically, what do you need? What needs to be replaced? 9 times out of 10, it's IDs, social security cards, birth certificates.
Right.
And those are items that are needed if they get a referral for housing through different programs in Baton Rouge. So my attempt, or I basically attempt to help them secure those documents.
Right.
And thank God there's many resources out here in Baton Rouge that offer those documents for free.
Right.
And it's time consuming, but it's rewarding in the end, definitely.
Well, you mentioned it's a trauma to experience homelessness, and one of the things that the shelter does provide is we're not like an old-fashioned shelter where you got to take everything with you every day. We let people get a locker, lock their things up, and that's important, isn't it?
Exactly. For them to know, just knowing that my items, my possessions are safe, and I don't have to take them out there with me when I leave the shelter to come back for 4 p.m. It's an awesome, it's awesome for them to be able to do that.
Right. It takes one obstacle and one barrier, one potential problem away from them.
Exactly.
Well, one of the things you do so well, Jason, is you provide hope every day. And when we come back, we'll talk about providing hope to those who are experiencing homelessness, whether it's sheltered or unsheltered. We'll talk about last year, overall, the Society of St. Vincent de Paul provided over 26,000 guest nights to men, women, children, and families. And we'll talk a little bit about the importance of what we do in providing a guest night to a homeless person that finds themselves with no place to turn for help, right when we come back. For over 20 years, the St. Vincent de Paul Community Pharmacy has served our area. We provide prescription medicines for those who have nowhere to turn for this most basic healthcare need. Please, if you need your medicine or you know a family member that needs their medicine, contact us. Kay, how can they get in touch?
383-7450.
Give us a call today and spread the word so that we can ensure no one goes without their prescription medication. With homelessness exploding around the country, we're seeing more encampments here locally in our area. And certainly sometimes people wonder, can the cycle of homelessness be broken? And the answer is yes. And certainly permanent housing is a part of that solution. We're a housing first group here at St. Vincent de Paul. And Jason Meyer, a case manager at St. Vincent de Paul and a leader in our shelter program. You started 7 years ago and you helped someone. Tell us a little bit about that story. Can it be broken?
It definitely can be broken. One particular male that I remember in detail, he came to us homeless,
Yes.
street homeless for several years. He was offered a job actually through St. Vincent de Paul at our warehouse.
Mm-hmm.
I started in 2016 to this day, 2022, 23, he's still here. He's still there. He's still working for the company. Every time I see him, I definitely praise him for his dedication to the job.
Oh, yeah.
Many individuals will fall to the wayside and, you know, the job is no longer interesting to them, but he has stuck with it, and I praise him every time I see him to let him know that, you know, how he progressed from where he was to where he is now.
And that's a powerful part of our ministry at St. Vincent de Paul. And, you know, we've been blessed through the years. You remember Reginald Island?
Yes, I do.
God bless
I do.
him. And he was somebody that was a night manager as well. And we miss him all the time. There's so many people that, but he is somebody that turned his life around in a very powerful way.
Definitely.
And one of those individuals that we lost during the pandemic, and somebody who meant a lot to St. Vincent de Paul.
And to the guys and to the participants also.
You said one of the things that surprised you the most at St. Vincent de Paul was when you started, you didn't even realize it was a shelter, big building. And
really, I didn't. I passed by almost every day, because I used to work a little bit further down the street near downtown Baton Rouge. And I was shocked at the mere size when I walked in. When I was hired, I was hit with unexpected things. I didn't know the shelter was so huge. I didn't know that you housed women and children and men for that, you know. It was an eye-opening experience to me. I was shocked at the things that were behind these doors.
And you also mentioned people like Linda Reed and Joe Keegan, just great.
Oh yeah, the dedication, the patience with the participants, just them being dedicated to trying to make a change, attempting to make a change, and actually seeing the change. Once everything they put in place came to a head, everything was awesome. And I'm glad to be a part of that now.
Oh, no doubt. And Linda was on a show earlier this season, and she shared so much with us. And one thing I share with her is thank you for not retiring yet. Thank you for not retiring yet, because of her dedication, her wisdom. And when you work with people like that, it's an uplifting thing, isn't it?
Exactly. She motivated me daily to just get in there, find out what the clients or the participants need, and start working toward it. And just giving them encouragement on a daily basis plays a huge role in where they are now.
And you know, one thing Miss Reed is important in her life, important in your life, important in all our lives at St. Vincent is faith. I mean, faith has driven her to continue this ministry and do it in such a way that, like you said, showing compassion, care, and patience. One of the things we talked about, particularly with those women who are experiencing homelessness, we talked about the dramatic change over the last 10 to 15 years, or even the last 5 years. But you've seen that in the men that are experiencing homelessness. We're seeing more mental illness, aren't we not?
Definitely, definitely. I've worked in the mental health field for well over 20, 25 years. And we have seen an uptick in homelessness, individuals being diagnosed with some type of mental illness. It's a struggle sometimes. Basically trying to find a way to work through to them and get to them. And just letting them know that they are people too. That we care about them. And that, you know, with help, with time, things will turn out on the positive side. But yes, we have seen an uptick in cases where individuals are diagnosed with mental illnesses also.
And it's a big difference over the last 7 years, isn't it?
Definitely.
You know, I know that when you started, you had a lot of success along with Carl Taylor and others, people self-resolving. They come in, they need, and I still see that today. I mean, I see people that I see, they've got jobs, they come in at night and they are out early going to a job. And those are the individuals that need a little push maybe or a little hand up, but they self-resolve. And those are the easier cases to help achieve self-sufficiency, isn't it, Jason?
Exactly. Sometimes it is difficult with jobs being offered,
Right.
and their experience,
Right.
but with the different, like I said, resources again.
Yes.
It's amazing that there's so many jobs that are being offered at the temporary agencies that some of the guys may not be aware of.
Right.
So we attempt to make them aware of those jobs and make them aware that they do have experience, you know, in order for them to get some of these that are advertised. So yeah. Definitely.
Well, you know, you mentioned patience and compassion, and every day when you sit down with someone that comes in for a helping hand up, what motivates you? What's the number one thing that you say, I've got to do for this gentleman that's in front of me?
Basically what I do, I never take myself out of the equation.
Good.
I always let them know that I can be in this position at any point in my life. So basically, I picture myself in their shoes. At times, I feel that they feel this is the lowest point in their lives, and I don't want them to feel uncomfortable around me at all.
Right.
So I basically take them by the hand and encourage them.
Right.
I will help you. That's what I'm here for.
Right.
I will introduce you to resources that you may not have known existed, and try to take them by the hand, try to give them that one-on-one experience. And just to the smallest success to me will bring me joy.
Right.
Whether it's getting an ID that you have been missing for a year, and basically taking those individuals by the hand, leading them day by day, and let them know this is what's available to you. This is what's available to you. Take advantage of that while you're here. Of course, you know, everything is free. They don't pay for anything. So just giving them that the chance to get back on their feet, and to make those positive changes in their lives that they need in order to be successful again.
When they come to us, many of those we're honored and blessed to serve have nothing. And so when we come back, we're going to talk with Jason about some of the little things we do that make a big difference at St. Vincent de Paul. The Society of St. Vincent de Paul's first cookbook, Taste and See, is the gift which helps share the goodness of the Lord with those most in need. Featuring recipes from Chef John Foles, each chapter begins with a short story about one of our special work programs. To order your copy of Taste and See, please call the Society or visit our website. Help multiply blessings for the neediest in our community.
My Bicycle Journey, a book that tells a story. It educates, it promotes, and it also provides some leadership. Take the time to purchase this book, and St. Vincent de Paul benefits from all of the proceeds of this book. Please, if you would, give St. Vincent de Paul a call and let me know what you think of My Bicycle Journey.
Welcome back to a wonderful show where we're talking about homelessness with Jason Meyer, our star case manager at St. Vincent de Paul. We got a lot of stars at St.
Well,
Vincent.
thank you. I appreciate that.
Because, when you do this work, you're a star, right?
Of course.
I mean,
definitely.
you'd say that about your colleagues there.
Exactly.
It's not some people wouldn't say it's easy work. I don't know of anybody in their right mind that would say it's easy work, but it's rewarding.
Yeah,
because you're
definitely.
giving that hand up to someone when they come in. They don't have. Sometimes they need what? What do they need sometimes?
Oh my goodness, they need everything from soap, tissue, toothbrushes, toothpaste, razors, shaving cream. They need the works.
Yep.
Mainly because, like I said, when they're street homeless, they have only the things that's in maybe a backpack or even a garbage bag. So they tend to lose things. Things get taken from them constantly.
Right.
So St. Vincent de Paul offers free items to those individuals daily. Just come knock on the door and you ask for what you need, and if we have it, you have it.
And the nice thing is when men do, there are a fair number of men that for whatever reason, they prefer to be unsheltered than being sheltered due to the fact that our shelter does have some rules, and we have
Exactly.
a check-in time, and if you decide you want to smoke at 3 o'clock in the morning, we can't allow you to
can't
go
do it.
outside. It's
Exactly.
not safe to do it. But the men that do come in, we're able to give them that case management.
Yeah.
We're able to give them the toiletry items, and that's uplifting to them, isn't it?
Oh, definitely. Daily, they are. I get compliments.
Yeah.
St. Vincent de Paul gets compliments.
Right.
Thank you for giving me this. Thank you for doing that. And I just have to remind them, it's not me. It's through St. Vincent de Paul. I'm not going in my pocket to give it to you. St. Vincent de Paul gets major donations. There's so many caring individuals out there, and they keep us stocked with the things that we need in order to give out to our clients that come to the door, definitely.
Isn't that uplifting to you to see
It
somebody come from all parts of Baton Rouge?
It is.
South,
very.
north, east, west, all over South Louisiana to help
Yes.
out, huh?
Packages come in the mail daily
Oh, yeah.
from individuals out of town.
Yeah.
Just donations, definitely.
It's uplifting. And we were talking off camera about the fact that it's uplifting to see people get out of their comfort zone and just come, because, not everybody's been to a homeless shelter to serve, but to get you out of that homeless comfort zone and to come into a shelter with people that maybe have experienced things different, it's uplifting to see that, isn't it?
Very. A wise man once told me that we are all human.
Yes.
And basically what we need to pull together, if we see another individual going through a negative situation, going through something that they can't handle, pull together and try to help this individual find their comfort zone, help them to get back to the point where they were before, or to the point where they feel that they need to be. Right. That's the thing that keeps me motivated.
No doubt. Well, I know that in my 34 years at St. Vincent de Paul, there really has been an explosion of unsheltered encampments. They existed 34 years ago, but over the last 5 years, you see more encampments. And while we want everyone housed, and we recognize shelter is a temporary step to permanent housing, what would you say to the community? If they see somebody, try to direct them to St. Vincent de Paul, wouldn't you?
Exactly. At one point, I know we had a card that we would give individuals if we saw them living, basically street homeless, right. And encourage them to come to St. Vincent de Paul.
Right. We call it the Hope Card, and actually it's on our website. If you go to svdpbr.org, you can go all the way down, and to the right of the website says Hope Card. You can print them up at home, cut them up, and give it to someone in need.
And there's, like I said, there's so many resources that we come across, sometimes on a daily basis, because there's so many new programs that come up. Right. That where we're able to offer individuals rental assistance,
right?
Possibly other things that they need in order to move on in their lives. Right. Free phone calls to family. I've connected individuals that have family in Texas, have family in California, and they were able to call and make contact with them because they were unaware that their loved one was experiencing homelessness. So definitely making that contact again and pushing them to be independent again.
Were you there when we had the older lady that I know you worked mostly with the men, but she came in from she got here from Los Angeles, California. Do you remember that case?
I remember vaguely.
Yeah, and was homeless. She was in her 60s, suffered a little bit from dementia, and we had to work with the family and the Greater Baton Rouge Airport to get her back home,
Yes.
you know?
Yes.
And so whether it's UK or Los Angeles, we're making a difference.
Yes.
But if you want to go and vacation in UK or Los Angeles, we're not the place for you. but in all seriousness, wherever you may find yourself, if you find yourself in a situation of homelessness, we're here to help, right?
Definitely. For all your needs, if you see individuals experiencing street homelessness, please call, report it to us. We will definitely check it out. We have individuals on our street outreach team that will definitely go check it out and see what these individuals need at the time. What are your immediate needs? That's what we're trying to find out.
Right.
What do you need from us now?
Right.
And then what do you need from us later? We stay in contact with those individuals and build a relationship to let them know that they can trust us first, and let them find their comfort zone, offer them what they need, and maybe we can make a difference.
Yeah, it's amazing. And when I think through the years, there are so many stories that pop up in my head, and we've only got about a minute to go, but one where Carl Taylor helped a gentleman who was an underwater welder, very unique skill. He got a job in the Virgin Islands.
Wow.
And went and did that job successfully and turned his life around. There's always hope.
Oh, definitely. And just because you mentioned that recently, a male that I was working with has an offshore job, if I'm not mistaken, Belgium.
Oh, yeah.
He applied while he was here.
Isn't that amazing?
I assisted him with getting his resume typed up and dutied up again, and he's now no longer with us because he's in the place where he needs to be.
Well, you know, wherever it is, St. Vincent de Paul is making a difference. Jason, thanks for being on the show.
You're welcome.
And we hope you enjoyed today's show. If you need a Hope card, go to svdpbr.org or look at ways you can volunteer at our Homeless Services Center. Look forward to seeing you again next week on Beacons of Light.